Yeah, no, I am looking forward to this one because that's why I left it for the last one of this series, because I know this is the one that's gonna piss off. No, I think it's gonna piss us off, but it's gonna piss off everybody else as well.
Oh yeah.
This is the top 5 overhyped games. Now we were gonna do Kickstarter, but instead we're gonna do this overhyped games that have been overhyped. No.
There's no other way of putting it.
No, I think we may have to define that. So it's not a game that is bad, but a game that gets way too much attention for how good it is, or just a game that gets too much attention, period.
And sometimes even it's a game that just gets way too much attention, but is still bad. Because there's some of those on my list.
Okay, so it can be a combination of a game that's either doesn't deserve its hype,
Yep.
or a game that has hype and really doesn't deserve it.
Correct. I already know what one of yours probably is.
Literally, all I did was just stress this term, and someone's like, "You just said the exact same thing twice." So here we are, the top 5 overhyped games. Let's see who should go first.
Up to you.
We'll do this again. All right, so I'll go first. So number 5, top 5 overhyped game. Number 5, I have. Okay, this is one of the things people are gonna. This is the first time I'm gonna piss people off from page 1 because I'll tell this admittedly. I have not seen this game. I have not played this game. It is like number 3 on Board Game Geek, and every time I look at it, every time I see a video, I look at it and go, this game looks like ass. What is so appealing about this game? It doesn't look good at all. And that is Twilight Struggle. Tell me,
really?
Please.
Yeah.
This game does not look fun. I've seen it played. I have seen the board. It looks like something from the early 80s. Every game from the 80s is in the bottom 50 of Board Game Geek. I mean, games that really shouldn't be on that low on the list, but people hate them. Like Monopoly, I'm sorry, and Game of Life. Mm-hmm. But Twilight Struggle is on the opposite side. It looks like Stratego and Risk, like that kind of mechanic from that age. And I don't know why it's... See, for me, if it was like 400th or 500th, I go, yeah, whatever, it's a game that's in there, people like it. And someone goes, oh, I think it's an underappreciated game. It is like number 3. I mean, Gloomhaven, and I can't remember what number 2 is, Marco Polo, and then there's this one. Why is Twilight... No, I'm going to tell you. Tell me, why is Twilight Struggle that high on the list?
I don't know the answer to that one, because I feel the same way about you about that one. For me, that game, I don't get it. I don't see what the draw of it is. I mean, there's another game out there that I'm actually thinking about substituting it on the fly into my list because it falls into the same thing for me. It's like the people talk this one up so much, and I don't understand it. I just don't understand what the draw is for it.
Yeah.
So I don't understand Twilight Struggle either. It makes no sense to me.
It's one of those things where it must be some kind of fanatical cult following, which I think is when you deal with the top 10 on BGG, I think a lot of them deals with a cult.
Yeah.
A cult of personality around a designer or something. But I look at the theme, doesn't interest me. Look at the game components. The art style is non-existent.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, it's a resource management game, and it's like, tell me what I'm missing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Someone pops that on a table. I'm not going, ooh, I can't wait to play Twilight Struggle. No. Who gets to be a USSR? Who gets to be Russia? I was like, are we playing Axis and Allies? No, at least that you get to kill things. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't...
It's those guys who sit around and dream of having their own, like, war table somewhere. You know, it's like, this is the world, and I'm going to grab that little wooden stick and push those markers over to there.
I'm fat like Winston Churchill, but I do not want to be Winston Churchill.
We will fight them on the beaches.
I'm going to do the Hitler speech from that film that everyone keeps on re-subtitling. He does that little thing with his hands where he takes this off. He's shaking.
Why do they want to play Twilight Struggle?
Yeah, I should do that. Sir, it's a fun game. It's like, who are these people? So that's my number 5, Twilight Struggle. And you?
So my number 5 is a recent Kickstarter. And this
finished? Like delivered? Or?
Finished and delivered.
Okay.
And this one...
Okay.
It gets hate for me for the simple reason and overhyped because it was good IP in the sense that it was super popular. It was presented during the Kickstarter as this is what you were getting.
Mega Man.
No, close, but no.
Yeah.
And everything that we got was not to the level it was supposed to be. And all they kept saying, they didn't give any reasons as to why, but the fans and as far as I'm concerned, people who donate money, I call shareholders, because that's what they are. We could surmise was that the IP cost too much. And that was Walking Dead, No Sanctuary.
I actually knew you were going to post that. I knew it. The way you said IP, I was like, it's going to be Walking Dead, isn't it? I'm just like... I was gonna grab it off the wall and just have it just like tick 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 and just lift it up and someone's like, okay.
The problem with that one though, okay,
tell it like it is, brother.
So you're gonna deliver minis. The point of a mini is that you can tell the minis apart. If you can't tell the minis apart, then just put a pawn in the game.
Yeah.
And of course, someone's like, well, that's got a cowboy hat. That's Rick. If that's the only distinguishable
Can't protect Rick.
If that's the only distinguishable feature for that mini, is that he's got a cowboy hat on, you got a problem.
And then Carl is just the exact same mini, just with his legs cut off, so it's just shorter. It's like, you guys didn't do a very good job. It just looks like that guy, it's like that one character where they're walking on their knees and their legs are on his sack. That's
one of the other huge issues I had with this game was that right out of the get-go, the manual tells you get a character sheet and gives you all your stats, but they don't actually tell you what the stats are. There's a number and a picture. Nowhere in the manual does it tell you does it have a picture of your character sheet and say, this means this, this means this, this means this. However, they have a picture of the AI sheet with arrow going, this means this, this means this, this means this.
Why couldn't they just put that on the board?
But exactly. And the response back when we asked them about this one was...
Was it multilingual?
Nope. Oh. The response was that, well, we've got updated rules and stuff on our website. You can download those. I'm sorry, but if I've already got the game, I shouldn't need updated rules that should have been there to begin with.
And, yeah, you paid into the big time, too.
Yeah, it was close to $2, yeah.
So so that was your number 5.
That was number 5.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I hate that show. I thought the first episode was one of the greatest single hours of television. Frank Darabont made one of the most amazing hours of television out there. Fantastic pilot. Mm-hmm. And I watched the show religiously that first season. Watched second season, went, okay, they're going to go somewhere. Like, quite literally, they're stopped.
Like, it was actually to the point where I'm watching the show and I'm just like, one episode, I'm just like, okay, I've got to go do something to, like, cheer myself up, because you cannot binge watch that show.
No. You watch Walking Dead. If you binge Walking Dead, you have to take a break. It's like, oh my god, the apathy and absolute disregard and the nihilism this show presents is so unpalpable. I have to watch Game of Thrones to make myself feel better.
Pre-Joffrey death or after?
Just take a random episode.
The Red Wedding.
Yeah, exactly. I have to watch the Red Wedding to make myself feel better. That was when I gave up on that one. Not that I love the series. I love the series, but the book, I was just like, nope.
Exactly.
So anyway, so we got off a tangent. So Walking Dead, I don't like the show, so I'm on your side.
He'll have an extended version of this video with all that cut out that you can watch.
Slowly fade off to black. Going, and then they ranted about Game of Thrones and Walking Dead for 10 minutes, and then we faded back in, and we're still talking, and it fades out, and they're still talking.
And it'll be like Rado, you can click here to watch the extended version.
Where we talked talking about how much I like Game of Thrones and dislike Walking Dead.
All right.
Okay, so that is... Okay, so number 4, I did it first, I'll let you go first. For number 4, Overhyped.
All right, so this one, I am at a loss for why this game is so popular. And I have asked people, and all they can tell me is, you've got to play it. I'm just like, no, I don't got to play it to have you tell me why it's a good game.
Once you play, you'll understand. Like, what am I, a pod person?
And that is, and I know that the downvotes are already happening, Cosmic Encounters.
I'm so sorry, Tom. He loves that game.
He does.
Dazzle loves that game so much. That's
don't-
another game I'm looking. I'm going. Okay, so we got discs on top of other discs. And then what's that? Well, I just moved discs back and forth. How old's this game? Like 20 years. Have they changed anything? No.
Well, the plastics have changed color, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. And I will say old games are good. I have an old game that's good. They re-released it. It's called Dungeon. It was a precursor to Dungeons and Dragons. It's made by TSR. Mm-hmm. It still holds up over time. But I don't tell people, hey, Chris, you got to try this game. It's good. Well, yeah, but why? Well, it's good. You'll see. No. Tell me why it's good. Tell me the mechanics of it, why it's good. And if you're explaining the mechanics to me, and I'm already...
I will go further and say that your dungeon example is the exception to the rule. Because I have not played of all the games I remember playing as a child.
Yeah.
I don't want to play any of them. Like, I remember that. And I've played some awful games. I played Pull Economy.
Yeah.
I own Prince George Monopoly.
Yeah.
I've played Stratego. I've played Access.
What was that one where you build pipelines? Can't remember what that one was called, but
Snakes and Ladders?
No. There was actually one about building pipelines, and
Yeah, they're all. There's a reason why every single game I grew up with as a child are on the bottom 50 games of all time.
Most of them because they don't have a good win mechanism.
It's all random.
Yeah, or it's player elimination.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Yeah. The oldest game I ever saw a playthrough, and I wanted to learn the game, was the one based on the Alien franchise. Because I thought it was the strangest thing ever. How do we make a competitive board game in the 1970s era out of Alien? And the fact that every player had an astronaut and had an alien. You controlled an alien, and every person controlled an astronaut. So you want your alien to kill off the other astronauts, and you want to get your astronaut to the escape pod and escape. But everyone controlled one alien and one astronaut. It was weird. So I got played through it, and I'm like, that is a mess. But I applaud them going, look, guys, we've got the assignment. We have to make a game based around Alien. It's like cooperative games didn't exist back then, right? No production value. So it's like the board doesn't make any sense. The board is just really weird.
Yep.
You roll dice and you make decisions, but there's some strategy involved. It's actually got some beef to it. But I was just amazed. Like that was the only time I ever saw a game that was that old that I was interested. I would own it just because I have the Parker Brothers Alien board game.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the Zaxxon board game based on that, and it actually came with plastic miniatures.
Yeah.
And it was a cooperative game. You would play your guy and moving up, moving down, and so forth. One problem is that it only had one level, so it was like I played the game for 5 minutes and I won.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happens? We play it again. Same friggin' game. You're not changing anything. Things are exactly the same height as before. It's like, welcome to Zaxxon. Zaxxon was like 2 levels. You just played over and over. Because it turns out Zaxxon wasn't much of a game.
Exactly. So that's my number 4 for Overhyped. It's Cosmic Encounters.
My number 4 is considered to be, I think people will call it the game that started it all. And it's not Monopoly. You think Monopoly's on my list, but it's not. Monopoly's just bad. It's not hyped.
Oh no, I think I know which one it is now.
This game started, I think if you didn't have this game, you wouldn't have had the 4 pillars of European Eurogaming. You wouldn't have had, it is part of those 4 pillars. You wouldn't have had the renaissance of gaming.
Pillars being the keyword here?
No, not pillars. I mean, don't get misled. Because he said, people said the pillars of gaming is Alhambra, Carcassonne, Ticket to Ride, and this game.
Yep.
And as I said, Carcassonne I can enjoy. You're creating something. There's something to be made. I can see the appeal of Carcassonne. I still don't see the appeal in Ticket to Ride, but whatever. To each his own. Alhambra I actually quite enjoy. It's another tile-based game. You're creating something. I have played this game. There's 1,000 variations. I don't understand why Catan is so popular.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
What did you think I was going to say?
Gloomhaven.
I said this game started it all. Gloomhaven's only like a year.
Well,
old.
I thought you meant started the hypes.
Oh, started the hype train. Yes, no. I mean, this is the oldest one on this list. But Catan doing Overhyped because Catan literally created the Renaissance, I think.
Yes.
More so than all those other games.
Yeah.
Catan hit the scene and everyone's like, this is nothing like any game we've ever played.
Yep.
What are the games are like there? Wow, there's this game called Ticket to Ride. Oh my god, what else? Here's Carcassonne, here's Alhambra.
Yep.
and everyone started, and you sell 40 million copies, and everyone started buying out, and everyone playing Catan, and that's what literally started it. And then they came out with Star Trek Catan and Settlers of Catan and 80,000 different versions of Catan, and now Catan has become the new monopoly.
It is, and you know the funny part is that you ask most board gamers, they have it in their collection. In fact, Catan's right there, and Star Trek Catan's up there. So I've got both.
Like, Will Wheaton has played it 3 times on his show. He's done Catan, he's done Star Trek Catan, and he's gotten the kids Catan.
Okay, I haven't
Jr.
seen that one yet.
He's done all 3 of them.
It's the same game.
It's the same friggin' game.
Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. The Star Trek one I find more enjoyable because the roles do change it quite nicely.
Yeah. Okay.
The original Catan,
I just think it's overhyped. Like, once again,
Yes.
I'm not saying Catan's a bad
no,
game.
no, fair
See,
enough.
unlike the other games you're talking about, like The Walking Dead, bad game. Twilight Struggle, I don't understand. Catan actually looks somewhat pretty.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I don't understand why it is, like, one of the 4 pillars.
Yes.
I think it's because of time. It came out, it was the first game that hit that market. It is...
Well, and, you know, honestly, it's because we seem to have now hit that thing where board gaming's cool now. Where it's not just nerdy anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, it's mainstream. And a lot of people attribute Catan and Pillars and, what was the other 2 you said? The 4th.
Alhambra, Carcassonne.
Alhambra and Carcassonne. They attribute the rise of that to those 4 games. And I can kind of see that. But I don't think those games
there are
that
50
caused...
expansions to Carcassonne. There are tons of expansions,
Yep.
but Catan specifically is the one that is like. Then it's almost like there's one giant pillar, and then the 3 that just support the balance. They somehow think that if Catan were to collapse the whole system,
Yeah.
the point that there was like the company who made Catan got bought out because another big company was going to give them all the money just for that name.
And how many different versions of Catan are there? There's Game of Thrones Catan, there's Star Trek Catan. There's...
It's become the monopoly. And
It is.
People,
It's become the
people
monopoly.
say how much Monopoly is a horrible game, and they hate all these versions of Monopoly. Who buys these Monopoly games?
There'll be Prince George Catan.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
I actually would too.
Maybe just check it off my list then. All right, so that's my number 4, Catan.
All right.
Purely because I said it's not a bad game. I just think it has its position as being the one that started it all. And I think that personally, that if you didn't have Catan, you took Catan out of history, you don't erase the entire thing.
No.
It's one of those things where Arthur C. Clarke is credited as the inventor of the communication satellite. And his response is, I said, hey, these would be great to communicate people because they're so high in the sky. Literally, if I hadn't said that, some other idiot 5 minutes later would have said the same thing.
Exactly.
I just got dibs. He acknowledged that Catan is the only thing Catan has going for it. It has dibs.
Yep, exactly.
Somebody else would have made a game like Catan within a year.
Yep, exactly.
So that's number 4. So my number 3, Elsa's will bounce it back and forth. Number
Yep.
3, I'm going to get this out of the way because there's a lot to talk about. Star Realms. Like mic drop. Star Realms is an incredibly broken game. I have 3 primary problems with Star Realms. It's too random.
Yep.
It's too random.
Not because
It's too random. But specifically, you get 10 cards, 8 and 2, exact same as Ascension, a slight variation. Like everyone plays on the Dominion had this great idea. You build this deck that gives you the drawing cards, and you're slowly trying to get a good engine going, so you can spend the money to eventually gain these really high point cards. Mm-hmm. But you start off with 2 point cards in your hand, but you actually are in your best interest to get rid of those.
Yep.
So you can create your engine, so you don't have this wasted space, and you're just getting this engine going. And then when you finally get a good engine, and who's going to be the first person to snap and start buying the point cards to the point? Because they look at the stacks, and the stacks are almost out. I better start buying some point cards, and then you start buying point cards to start eating up your deck. But then whoever builds the best deck by that point wins. Mm-hmm. They took that and said, "Hey, let's throw in more randomization." And people who made Dominion be like, no, you have randomization. Your deck shuffle is randomized. Mm-hmm. The stacks are not. That's why I really like Xenoshift. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same thing as Dominion, except it's cooperative.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
And it's brilliant how you give your soldiers to other people.
Yeah, you trade your cards really, really easily.
Yeah.
It is got fixed stacks, which is really, really nice, so you don't have to mess around with 5-card flops. Mm-hmm. And then Star Realms like, no. We'll have a randomized card, a flop of 5, And well, we're not since your cards don't count as for points. We'll create some kind of hit mechanic. So we'll put in 2 scouts in there or 2 fighters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the first guy,
each other.
yeah, and then the first guy will draw 3, and I'm like, wait a second. Okay, so you have a flop of 5, and let's say it's one of the cards out there is one of the critically overpowered cards for the cost. Every cost has every 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pointer has a certain card that is just better than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's the race. Who gets that card first?
Yep.
And at that point, it has nothing to do at all with player skill.
No.
Who gets that shuffle out first?
Yeah.
Right? So, I drew in 3 cards. Let's say there's a 5-carder on there that really game breaks. Or like 4 that allows you to trade cards back and forth from your deck in hand.
Yeah.
Which, and it's like, there's a 5-card. Oh, man, that's a really powerful card. I draw 3 scouts. Can only buy a 3-pointer. Oh, there's nothing on the 3-pointer. I have to buy Explorer. My next deck pull has 3 scouts and 2 fighters, which means I'm still stuck with only 3.
Yeah.
Next player draws a 5, grabs that card into his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
Right off the bat, he has a decisive edge, and I've done nothing to mitigate that.
Yeah. Or the better one is where they have their 4 cards and they have the Explorer. So now they can buy that 6. The second they buy that 6 and you're only 2-3 moves rounds in, I just feel like sometimes I'm done.
Yeah, that's done. Like, you can determine who's going to win a game. 90% of the time, you can determine who's going to win a game of Star Realms in the first 3 turns.
Yeah.
Because one person is going to create an engine. And this is the reason why I think Star Realms fixes their games at 50 health. And you really, like, the app won't let you change the health limit. Ascension, you can. You can jack up the gold limit up to like 112 cards.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, little patterns start to emerge. And Star Realms' really bad mechanics start to flow up. Because you start seeing how hugely swingy the game is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, one guy's engine takes away and literally rockets away. And there's nothing you can do to catch up to him.
Yeah.
And a 50-card flop, it's like, oh no, you almost had me. I'm like, yeah, but if this game kept on going, there wasn't a prayer. I was never going to catch up to you for those first 2 actions. And then they go, now we're going to come up with these gambits, these randomized other elements. So you added another element. Oh, I have the gambit that says, oh, you can put a card from the bottom of your pile on top of your deck. Oh, that's kind of useful halfway through the game. What do you have? Oh, I can shred this card and get 2 buying power. Oh, I have a 5 card. Oh, I'll buy this 7. Game's over because it's like, that's it. Oh, what do you have? I can grab any 4-cost card for free. Oh, beginning of the game. I'll take a 4 and I'll take a 5. What's your turn? Well, I get to shred a card, destroy a base, and then draw a card. Yeah, that's balanced.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's like, and then they have other things. Every single time they've added a new mechanic to the game, it was another randomized element. Right? Their cooperative format is horrible. Those cards are just bad. And you've made it way too difficult, so you're just banging your head against the game over and over, thinking, okay, does the random engine work in our favor this time?
Yeah.
And all the cards they got was, look how amazing these cards are. I have all the expansions for Star Realms. They have contributed. It's like Star Realms is the Terry Gilliam of games. They had a great concept, and they've just been replicating that over and over with every additional one.
Yep.
Every single time I play Star Realms, it's just like, there are 12 cards here which are incredibly broken, and whoever gets this card first wins.
Yep.
And it's just like, here's the thing. It's not hard to fix, but they doggedly refuse to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Ascension fixes some of that.
Yes.
Right? Equal number of turns.
Yep.
Right? That's a big one for me. An equal number of turns. You can adjust the length of the game. And there are a few other things that are thrown in there as well. Where in Star Realms, it's over far too quickly.
Well, and also another thing that Ascension does is, hell, they're in 3rd. You can pick up the 3 years. Like they're putting out cards constantly, so they're iterating their game constantly. Star Realms seems stagnant.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can get already year 1, year 2, year 3 collector's edition foil, shiny, for the first 3 years of Ascension, and they're different cards completely, and different mechanics in each year. And that's one of the things that Brittany loves, because hers is Ascension. She can play year 1, and it's completely different mechanics in that game than play year 2. But it's still got the same basis, so she can still pick it up and play it, but the cards are different.
Yeah. See, for me, Star Realms is like these guys, like, we want to make Magic the Gathering the deck building game. And it was like, so someone, and they said all their effort, and they're double downing and trying to make it work, and no one's told them it actually doesn't work.
Nope.
You cannot make a competitive Magic style game out of the Dominion Ascension formula. It doesn't work. And what blows my mind is that Star Realms came out first, then they made Ascension. They should have taken Ascension and went back. Or did Ascension come first and Star Realms come out second?
Star Realms was 2014, and Ascension was 2010.
Yeah, so Ascension came out first.
Yep.
Then they came out with Star Realms. And they went, hey, this is better. And I'm like, no, it's not. You should go back to Ascension because Ascension's a better game. So that's my number 3, Star Realms.
All right.
Yeah, you're number 3.
This one is going to get a lot of flack, and it's going to get a lot of flack from our reasons why. Charterstone.
Oh, I'm interested in this one.
So, one of the main reasons I have a problem with why this one got too much hype is because of the name that was attached to it. Now, I get that sometimes... Charterstone. Jamie Stegmaier.
Oh! It's like, but Charterstone just a name. Oh, you mean the guy who made it?
Yes. Which, I have no problems with Jamie Stegmaier's
He's a nice guy.
game. I have Scythe. I have, like, all of Scythe.
He runs good Kickstarter. He runs good campaigns.
He runs good games, but that doesn't mean it's a good game. And prior to Charterstone coming out, it was just everywhere you look, Charterstone. No, I don't have it.
And how do you know?
Because I've seen enough videos on it,
okay.
And it's a legacy game.
I'm not a fan of Legacy.
Yes.
There's certain elements I can see the appeal of a Legacy game. That one felt weird to me.
But we'll sell you refill packs so that you can play the game again with somebody else.
Oh yeah, I like the recharge packs. Here's a recharge pack, so you can play through the game. You can play through the game twice because the board flips over, and then after that you gotta pay for a recharge pack. And I'm like, huh? Could you have made this game so that it wasn't Legacy? But that was the pitch.
But I mean,
make a Legacy worker play.
And that was the thing. And no one ever prefaced when they're interviewing Jamie, or even saying, doing a bit on Charterstone, was like, this is a really great game because of blank mechanics. It's like, this is a really great game, and it's from Jamie Stegmaier. I don't care. That doesn't mean it's a good game. But that was what they built all the hype on. And then if you noticed, Charterstone came out. You don't hear anything about it anymore.
No, I'm actually surprised the fact that Charterstone came out. A lot of people talked about it, and now I see it on the shelf, and no one's buying it.
Exactly.
Nobody knows playing Charterstone.
Exactly, and it fell flat.
It's like the last game that was heavy on Legacy that everyone talked about, Seafall. Why did we know exactly what we're talking about? Another game that everyone talked about Seafall, and then everyone said, "Wow, this game is awful." Because it turns out Legacy is not a mechanic people really rush out to get.
No, it really isn't. And
Legacy is not a mechanic. Legacy is a pitch. Legacy is like 3D on a movie. So people go out to pay it for it, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't really do anything for the story.
Yeah, exactly. It's
only one avatar.
Yeah. So that's my number 3. It's Charterstone. I know I'm gonna get lots of flack on it from the Jamie fanboys, but I'm sorry, guys, but it has to still be a good game.
Okay, so that goes back to you for number 2.
Number two. That's 4.
No, 2, 4. 2. Sorry.
So my number 2,
Blade Runner.
This one was, in my opinion, a utter mess by Upper Deck. And that's Legendary Encounters Firefly. The reason why this one I think is overhyped is because it is like Firefly, and we can all see, okay, sweet. So just like the other ones where it was movies, we can do the episodes. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And then we saw the art.
I heard about
And
it.
we saw the art.
I heard the artwork is just awful in that game.
And it's so horrendous. The characters don't look like anybody. And we're just like... And people were sending stuff into Upper Deck saying, please, don't release this way. Give us screen grabs or everything. Nope. This is the way it's coming.
There's only been like one Firefly game that has screen caps. Everyone else has been doing artwork. There has to be something legal in there.
I wonder if there is.
I can't remember what game it was. We just saw it.
It's right there. It's Firefly the game. It's by Gale Force 9.
Yeah. There must be something where they have the rights to use screen caps because
possible.
there's another Firefly game, the cooperative game that came out,
Brigands and Bandits, right there.
Bingo, which is another one that uses art. The art doesn't seem too bad. I can recognize
That one's good. Yeah.
But then this Encounters game, I actually really want to get into the Encounter games more because I like Legendary. But the problem is that I am an Alien fanboy, and my fiance despises the genre utterly because she doesn't like horror films. But I want to play the Alien Encounter deck really bad. But she's like, well, we have Legendary Marvel. Can we just play that more? And I'm like, okay.
They're not the same
game. Everyone said the Encounters are the way to go.
See, there used to be a hole there because that was where Legendary Marvel was. It's gone.
Where's the? Oh, and then but you have Predator, don't you?
I have Predator, I have Firefly, and I have Aliens and the Aliens expansion.
Can we play Aliens sometime? I really want to play it.
Yes, absolutely. It is an awesome game, but you can't win. Or you rarely win.
Oh.
It's a really hard game.
Because Legendary Marvel is an easy game.
Yes. This one is hard. Like, you feel like you're in the game, and you're just like, sweet, I got these good cards. I'm going to play. Oh, I just got my face burnt off.
That happens every single time.
And then there's that card. Game over, man. Game over.
You just can't help yourself. You have to.
I have to. That's the thing. And, like, one of the things with that one, and why, for me, it was so overhyped is pre-order was announced, I think, like January of, I want to say 2017, I think it was. So I went through with a whole bunch of people. We ordered like 4 copies because there was 4 people that wanted it. So I was like, put in for 4 copies. It's like, release date was June. Because I remember it was June 6th was the release date. It's wicked. Because it was also the same release date as the Alien expansion.
Right.
So like, sweet, wicked. March rolls around. They show the artwork. Everybody's like, are you kidding me? Fix the game. June rolls around. We're pushing it back to July. Like, okay, maybe they're going to fix the artwork. July rolls around. Push back to August. We're like, okay, good. They are actually fixing the artwork. August rolls around. No, we're pushing it back to September. It's just like, are we actually going to get this game? September rolls around. Push back to October. We finally get it in October. It's the exact same thing with the exact same horrible artwork. Nothing was changed. We're like, why was that delayed so much?
I think your list is better than mine now. I think that's a very good argument. I like that. It's very good.
It's just... Oh.
I'll make a very interesting observation. Do you know that there are more Firefly games out in the market than there are Battlestar Galactica games?
That's because nobody knows how to make a good Battlestar Galactica game.
But it's weird, though, because BSG is such this holier-than-now IP.
Yep.
It was on for 4 years. We want to overhype TV shows. That's number 1 on my list. Because I
like it.
There's so many things wrong with that show.
So many things. The last video Dave gets to be in.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, I just find it funny the fact that there's like 4 Firefly games, about 2 good ones. There's a very, very famous comic that is extremely popular. The guy who writes this comic is
Cyanide Happiness.
No. It's Cyanide Happiness is funny on its own.
Okay.
And I will grant that I almost thought of putting that one on my list because I think that game is fun, but it has that one flaw of literal perspective.
Yep.
And I feel that Cards Against Humanity is good until you run out of cards and it stops being funny.
Yeah.
But this is a game. It's not a game, it's a guy. He's funny. He's incredibly hilarious. His comics are incredibly funny. The art style is very unique.
Yeah.
He has created whole memes. People repost him all the time. So he decided to make a card game.
Oh no.
And this card game became the most successful Kickstarter in history when it comes to number of backers. And then he made another game, which set records. And then he made another game, and another game. And all these games are bleeping horrible. Every game made by the guy who created the oatmeal. And so I had a tie game to tie. I didn't put You've Got Crabs, because You've Got Crabs was not funded on Kickstarter to my knowledge. But Bears vs. Babies / Exploding Kittens were both on there.
Don't forget Imploding Kittens.
Yes, the variant off of that. So Exploding Kittens, I got a Kickstarter on. Delivered very fast. I bought into Bear vs. Babies, and I have the Bear vs. Babies version.
Furry one.
The furry one. I have the furry pack. I remember talking to the guys who were at the Calgary Comic Con. There was a whole table just for Exploding Kittens. I mentioned like, hey, this is weird. This is a white box. I have a red box. I said, hey man, you're a Kickstarter backer. Thanks a lot. Hey, cool. Have you decided to make your game fun? Because like literally, it's like, oh, we played for 3 minutes. I got eliminated. I guess the game's over. Oh, you want to play again? That was it. That's the whole game. Like, yep, that's the whole game. And Bears vs. Babies suffers from another problem. It's a neat idea. They didn't put enough of it in the game. Mm-hmm. So it's a great idea. You're building monsters, and then when you are ready, you attack this pile of demonic babies that have been slowly amassing based on your card pulls. But there's only like 60, 70 cards. I don't know how many cards. Yeah. There are not enough. So if you want to play the game right, and I guess I do because I've never lost this game, and to my fiance's chagrin, because she wants to build an elaborate monster. I build like 3 pieces and I go after it because a stack will never get big enough to and when you get to 5 or 6 strength, that's it. You've got the map. Just go through them.
Yeah.
I have never ever opened up a stack of babies and not wiped them all out. And I've only had it with maybe 3 things attached. So you're never going to create these large and elaborate monsters, right? You're just going to cheese it. It's a game where you can cheese really easily.
Yeah.
Because the game isn't big enough. Because there's only like 25 babies in the entire deck.
Yeah.
Maybe if you bought 2 of them, then maybe. Or you made them more powerful than just 3. You threw a 5 or a 6 something in there and give it a chance of the fact that, ooh, I got screwed up. But you can't. You build a monster with like 3 parts, and that's it. You're done.
Yep.
Right? You could build 1 or 2 and go, oh, let's flip this over. I'll get this one and done. I'll challenge this one.
Yeah.
Right? And it is so easy. And then on top of that, another player has to go in. You're forcing another player of the same color to go in with you. Right? So I have a large blue monster. You have a 1-piece blue monster. I'm going in. You have to go in because you have a blue monster as well. You have no capacity. That creature dies. Mine goes through, collects all the points, and wins. So it's got a horrifically mean take that mechanic that doesn't need to be there.
Yep.
There's not enough cards in the game to make it actually fun. It's over in 10 minutes. It's overproduced because it has a lot of cool parts. It's a furry box. A furry box! It's got a furry box! But there's no game in here.
No.
Exploding Kittens we played once, and Nicole hated it. I looked at it and said, that's the game? Yeah, it's player elimination, the game. I was like, so you made a game based around the one mechanic I hate the most. And then he had made another one called You've Got Crabs. I'm zero interest in playing any game. I'm not going to pay into any more Kickstarters because the game. I'll look at the comics. He's a brilliant writer, but whoever he hires to make the games have no idea how to make a game. It's not even a good filler game because people. It's not a good gateway game because people are like, "This is what you guys play now. This is not a game.
Yeah,
there's nothing in here." So that's my number 2 pick: Bears versus Babies. Kittens.
For number 1.
Number 1. All right. That's Gloomhaven.
Yes, I was right.
I'm just calling it right now because you knew. I could bounce around it. There's not. I can start playing around it for about 5 minutes, like for 30 seconds. You're like, dude, it's Gloomhaven.
It's Gloomhaven.
Okay. I am not saying Gloomhaven is bad.
No.
I need to stress this. I am not saying Gloomhaven is bad.
So don't click the click
it's too late. It's done. They're done. They're gone. They're gone.
They heard Gloomhaven.
Literally, it's just my fiance, my mom, and her friends in church group that are watching this now.
Exactly.
And why? Okay, probably because I probably tagged like religious words and Bible verses in the tags. That's it. Just people like, why is this in my feed? So here's the thing about Gloomhaven. There's a restaurant in Vancouver called Tojo's. Tojo's is a Japanese restaurant, and the Itamahe, the head chef, is considered one of the greatest sushi chefs in the world. He quite literally is credited for making the California roll. That's how well known he is. He created the most famous roll in Western in the West, the California roll. He also made the BC roll, but who cares? He made the California roll. He has a wall of celebrities that have eaten at his restaurant. I was told you have to eat here by, of all people, oddly enough, Kaylee. from Firefly. She was at FanCon. She's like, we're both foodies. Like, oh, you got to go to Tojo's. And you go to Tojo's, and Tojo has a door, a glass door that you cannot see through because it is covered in all their awards. TripAdvisor, top sushi. TripAdvisor, top 10. Zagat, choice pick. Urban Spoon, top pick. Top, true bottom. I'm like, okay, I'll eat some sushi. And I walked in. I didn't go for omakase. I went for the level below omakase because Nicole didn't want to sit at the bar. So we sat at our table, and I had this tasting menu, a 6-course tasting menu, done by their head chef. And about 3 courses in, they realized something. I'm like, where's my sushi? They were so in love with the pageantry of their dish. And I'm a food critic on the side, so I'm not saying this to be just an ass. I actually have a background in food critique. And about 3 courses into it, they realized they were losing me because the dishes were overly complicated. The flavors were very conflicting. They were more about the presentation. Look how pretty this plate was. And I'm like, one thing I'll say about dishes, I should never have to fight my food. I'm not like fighting like the crab with the sword. I'm talking about the fact that I shouldn't have to look at this and go, okay, how do I eat this? I have my chopsticks in my hand. What am I doing wrong? And they gave me like an actual free, like they added, there was a 6-courser. There were the 7th in there because they realized they were losing me. Because I said, honestly, after the 4th dish, how was that? And I'm like, I'm not feeling this, and I don't mean to be upset to really throw salt in this whole thing, to be very salty about this experience, but these were not particularly, like this one here wasn't very good. The first one before that seemed very overly complicated. I'm kind of missing the point. And so they literally gave me this other plate, and then eventually gave me a plate which was just really good sushi, because I really wanted. I have had better sushi than the Tojo's, but more importantly, Tojo's was fantastic. I gave Tojo's a 5 out of 5. I said it was a fantastic sushi meal. It really was fantastic. But I was promised transcendence. Mm-hmm. I was guaranteed that this would be the second coming, that this would ruin sushi for me. It was so good that you will quite literally, I will shit. That's how good it was. You will shit when you go to Tojo's. And it was merely amazing. I await condemnation from the masses by saying that Gloomhaven is merely fantastic. Regrettably excellent. Unfortunately, just amazing.
Yep.
It is a good game. It is a very, very well-made game. It is a very large game. But there are just a couple little mechanics that are a little... I don't understand why they made that decision. When I ask around with people, no one plays that way. And I don't understand why they're insisting on playing the rules that way. It's a very, very big game. It's very, very heavy. It's got this big legacy mechanic on the side. It is a very well-made game. We enjoy it. But when you whittle it down to its base mechanics, I go, it is just getting a lot of credit, I think, because it's so big.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
there's so much in it.
What if Mansions of Madness had like 95 scenarios and the app had 95 connected scenarios in the story?
Yeah. And honestly, that's the biggest thing for me with Gloomhaven is that I have games that I think have got better mechanics. They're better. And I won't say the name of the one because I have it's on one of my overhyped ones, but it came in at like number 6.
So you did mention it.
I didn't mention it, okay. Yeah. But it's a better game, but it doesn't have that connected, fluid story.
Yeah.
And I think what we're starting to see is that the story matters. Whereas before, when we first started getting that renaissance of board game, people being back into it, the stories didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was the board game that mattered. The production quality. How big was it? How much money did it cost? Now people actually want some thematic to it, so it actually connects together. It's like, well, I gave you 10 campaign missions. It's like, yeah, but there's no connected storyline to them. Well, yeah, but I gave you 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So?
Yeah.
Perfect example of one that is, like, in my opinion, it's an awesome game. It has great AI. It's better AI, in my opinion, than Gloomhaven. And it's got a better connected storyline, is Galaxy Defenders.
Really?
Yep.
No, I know you have it, but
it's got a better story arc because all 3.
I'm gonna unlike the video right now. Actually, before it posts.
All 3 boxes actually have a connected storyline.
Wow. Okay.
And you don't see that. You see expansions that give you more stuff usually with games.
Yeah.
But none of them are all connected together. First game is that, the aliens are invading. Okay. The next game is, the humans are striking back. And then the last one is that, that didn't work out so well, so now it's Extinction Protocol, so this is our last-ditch effort to save the human race. And it's all a connected storyline.
Right. I'll say the fact that I found Mansions of Madness to be a better singular game, but it's not connected. I think that Gloomhaven, it's a good game, but it gives you that persistence of world. It gives you, like,
It's a good narrative.
It's like, here is the entire 3-year campaign of Greyhawk condensed into a single box.
Yes.
And I think that's what people are going for. I find, but the other problem is it, as a result, though, people talk about comparing it to Dungeons and Dragons, it's like, gives you an entire D&D campaign. I go, yeah, except there's no role-playing.
No.
It is just combat.
Yeah.
Where, like, I don't play a connected narrative game without being able to role-play. Yeah. And this is not a game that has a lot of role-playing, because the game is telling you how you should be playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you're not playing one character throughout the end. You're playing one character, and then he's just going to ride into the sunset like Shane and then fall off his horse off camera, and you realize, no, he's dead. That character's gone. You're never seeing him again. You're playing this new guy. I'm Johnny 2.0. And I'm like, and he starts a second level.
And less powerful.
I'm second level now, so I'm doing this whole thing over again. Yeah, no. Where's the improvement? But look at the city has changed. I'm not playing Gloomhaven. I'm playing a guy in Gloomhaven. It's like, here's Game of Thrones, the board game. You're playing as Tyrion Lannister. You're playing as Jaime. Who's that character? You're playing as Robert. Playing as Robert.
Yes.
And it was like, I played this game campaign for 15 missions. I'm Robert. I'm a very good Robert. Oh, then you suddenly Red Wedding happens and you're dead. I'm like, oh, by the way, spoilers. Robert dies. You're like, what do I do? Oh, now you're playing as this new character. I've just played this other character for 4 years now. And now you're telling me the character just died off camera, and now I get gutted like a pig, and then this new guy shows up. I don't know who this guy is. That's the reason why I'm not a huge fan of the novels, because like now we want you to like this guy. Like I don't care about this guy.
You know who my favorite character was in Game of Thrones?
Who?
Ned Stark.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So
see,
my favorite character is done in 4 chapters.
And of course, the thing is, in the TV show, he played by
Sean Bean. So you
knew he was dead.
Yeah.
It's like oh, Sean Bean. It's like, oh, spoilers, he's gone.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Tyrion Lannister. So I was a fan of him from the beginning, and then they had him played by an amazing actor, and then they rewrote the story so he never ducks out. So he stays awesome, which is the reason why I watched the show, because the one character that they'll never kill off is the one guy I like.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like, yeah, you'll never kill off Jon Snow, and you'll never kill off Tyrion Lannister, and those happen to be my 2 favorite characters. I could give a crap about Daenerys Targaryen, but whatever. I'm part of that group that's like, I'm sorry to say, but sure, whatever. Khal Drogo was better.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I was never a huge fan of that. I love Game of Thrones, but I like Game of Thrones because of people like Tyrion Lannister. That, like I said, I drink and I know things. That's the reason why I enjoy that character. So anyway, that's my number one. Gloomhaven is a fantastic game. I don't think it deserves the number one top spot. And I also like the fact that if you do criticize this game publicly, they will shit on you.
Oh God, yeah.
I am looking forward to my eventual video review for Gloomhaven. So that's my number one, Gloomhaven. Take us home, buddy.
All right. So my number one, I'll give you one.
What was that word?
Budda?
Take us home, brother.
What do you think my number one is? Because I know I've been mentioning...
Well, it's not Gloomhaven, otherwise I would have
Nope.
more... No, okay, so it's not Gloomhaven. What would be the number one? Cards Against Humanity.
Nope.
No, okay. Okay, is it a game that is it a game that we've played recently, or a game?
Sort of.
It's Eclipse.
Bingo. So this is the one that's gonna be a lot. And this one ended like yesterday or today.
Oh, it's over.
The Kickstarter, yeah.
Oh,
so this is Eclipse.
I decided not to back it. I walked away.
I backed it for $1, and I'll tell you why and why it's got overhyped. You cannot, as a Kickstarter designer, design a game that one of your pledge tiers is $99 and then say, oh, hey, by the way, it's going to cost you $65 shipping. And then get annoyed when backers are like, are you shitting me? And then say, oh, well, we're going to work on it during the Kickstarter. You should have had that figured out before you came to the table. Because it doesn't take a smart person to say, wait a sec, that's 2/3 of the price I'm asking you to pledge just to ship you the game?
And the base version with shipping would be more expensive than if you bought the game from a retailer later on.
Bingo. And there's no exclusives. So now there's no incentive to back it during the Kickstarter. On top of that, you have a game that is over, so 2011, so you're talking 7 years. It's been out. So you've got people who have tons of stuff. They've done their own fixes. And this is stuff that you've listened to the community for. You're not going to offer them an upgrade pack to upgrade their first edition stuff. No, because you say, quote unquote, this is a new dawn for Eclipse. So you change the color of technology tiles so you can't reuse any of the components again. None of the old components will work, and stuff that is tweaked is also then been changed. You've changed the color of dice. And you do things like this, and then on top of that, you make the stretch goals mysteries. As in, at this we're going to unlock a blacked out thing. And the response when people ask about that one is they've run lots of Kickstarters before that were very successful. And this is the part that annoys me. Stop treating Kickstarter like a pre-order system.
Yeah.
It is a crowd funding system. I am a shareholder giving you my venture capital to present me with a product that you can then take to market. It is not me giving you money and you saying, hey, give me some money, you're going to love this. No.
I am the guys in Dragon's Den. Give me your pitch, or otherwise I'm turning away.
Exactly. I backed the game for $1, and that's where it sit because they just didn't sell me on it. And, they're like, oh, we're going to do this, this, and that, this. It's like, the problem is you worked on pleasing your shareholders / backers 15 days or halfway through your Kickstarter. You should have had that figured out before it started. And and I even told them this, and I said this to them, was that...
Tell us what you really think.
Here's the problem, is that you have a very avid fan base. You can't do that and not expect to have issues with the same IP. It would be like starting a new Star Trek series and trying to make it all PC. Oh, wait, they did that with Discovery. Anyways, but...
Wow, went down a road there.
The problem is
Did I touch a nerve?
That's why I found that one to be so overhyped. I mean, I backed it at the highest tier when it launched because I love Eclipse. And then slowly I'm just like, well, what the heck did I back? Because, $65 shipping, not to us though. Luckily, that was only $25 shipping to Canada. And on top of that, Colossal Games, not saying anything against them, but they were acting as the go-between between La Petite Elite, whatever it is, I guess it's an Italian the designers, but they're not even in the same time zone, so when people were asking questions, you'd have to wait a full day for it to come back. And the worst part was, when the Kickstarter launched and there was all these issues, they were silent for 3 days almost, it seemed like.
Wow.
And the response that we kept getting was, just wait, it'll get better. I'm sorry, but you can't go to Shark's Den and say, hey, I got this product. Just wait, give me your money. It'll get better. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
No, it's okay. I ranted for 20 minutes about Gloomhaven. And you had it right. I knew this was coming. I said, yeah, it's like he's going to talk about Eclipse, isn't he? I think it was just like overhyped Kickstarter games. That was the original list. Overhyped Kickstarter games. I'm like, I think you're being too much on the nose.
Yeah.
Like past or present. Present and future. Like, okay, this is a short list. There's like 5 games on that list. It's like, it's going to be Eclipse. This is a top 2 list.
Oh, no. If we're going to go past, I would say Batman. Let's see what...
Batman. Yeah, we're talking about... Yeah, we'll wait past the next list. But I think Batman... You're talking about overhyped...
Hellboy.
Overhyped Kickstarter games. Problem is that Gloomhaven falls in that category, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I would...
Founders of Gloomhaven.
I would throw Batman way into that list. That would probably I think if we're saying Kickstarter just specifically because of Kickstarter, I would throw Batman higher than Gloomhaven. Yep. I'm talking about Gloomhaven, the factory release, the actual release that you can go out and buy, not the build up to delivery. Because I'm looking at Batman like, you guys didn't care about the game. You were talking about sending us miniatures. I think I put the new Cthulhu game on that list as well. But that's not what we're talking about. We were talking about...
That's going to be another video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, anyway, top 5 overhyped games. Twilight Struggle, number 5. Number 4, Catan. Number 3, Star Realms. Number 2, Bears vs. Babies / Exploding Kittens. Or basically every game designed by the Oatmeal. And number 1 is Gloomhaven.
And my number 5 was The Walking Dead No Sanctuary. Give me a manual I can read. Cosmic Encounters was number 4. Number 3 was Charterstone. Number 2 is Legendary Encounters Firefly. Just give me a screen grab, not art. And number 1, Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy.
You could just grab the cards and just simply print photos and just...
You know what? I've honestly thought about sometimes when this ends, I'll show you the art.
Oh, yeah. An addendum. But okay, so that's it. Top 5 overhyped games. I've been Chris.
I'm Dave Townsend.
And we will see you next time, and hopefully we'll not do this. That'll take an hour, because it feels like this is all about... It's like, okay, it's going to be... top 4 will take 5 minutes, and then we're going to be talking about number 1, because somebody hit a nerve. All right, guys. See you later.
See ya.